Grief is supposed to break families. Ours skipped straight to betrayal. The night after my wife's funeral, my son stood in the doorway of our bedroom, the room that still smelled of her perfume, and told me, without flinching, "Find somewhere else to die. You're useless now." His eyes didn't water, his voice didn't crack. He was calm, almost rehearsed. I looked past him to the boxes he'd already stacked in the hallway. My clothes, my books, my life packed like trash waiting at the curb. He had inherited everything: our house, our fortune, $40 million. The papers were signed, the lawyer confirmed it. So I left. 3 days later, that same lawyer leaned back in his chair, a smirk pulling at his lips. "Did you even read the will?" he asked. No, I hadn't. And in that moment, I understood. I hadn't been disinherited, I'd been played. I replayed the last months of her life. My wife had grown secretive, whispering on the phone at night, doors locked during the day. When I asked, she blamed the illness. She said she was protecting me from worry. I wanted to believe her. After all, decades of marriage doesn't collapse under suspicion alone. But now, standing in the lawyer's office, I felt the first knife twist. The will hadn't simply cut me out. It had been rewritten, amended, days before she died. Who convinced her? Who whispered in her ear when I wasn't in the room? I thought of my son, his new car, his sudden confidence, his disdain, growing sharper each week she grew weaker. And a deeper question formed. Was her betrayal hers or his? I didn't confront him, not yet. I played the role he wanted, the discarded old man, drifting quietly into irrelevance. I rented a one-room apartment near the courthouse. To him, I was gone, invisible. But invisibility has its uses. I pulled bank records. My wife's accounts showed withdrawals in the final weeks, large ones. Transfers into an account I didn't recognize. The name on it chilled me. My son's. I traced phone logs, late-night calls between them when I was asleep. More calls between him and the lawyer's private number. I spoke to the nurse who cared for her in her last days. She hesitated, then admitted my son often arrived before me, insisting on helping her with paperwork, medication, signatures. Patterns formed. His fingerprints were everywhere. Still, I waited, because suspicion isn't proof, and proof, when it arrives, must be absolute. The truth came bound in paper, stamped and signed. The lawyer, under pressure from questions he couldn't dodge, finally produced the unredacted will. Clause by clause, it unraveled. My wife had not cut me out. She had secured everything, every asset, every property under my stewardship, with only one exception. Our son was to receive nothing until he turned 40. Nothing unless I died first. The amendment he showed me after her death? A forgery. Witness signatures fabricated. Her own signature traced. The theft wasn't hers. It was his. That night, I visited him. He was drunk, celebrating in the house he believed was his. My house. Her house. I laid the papers on the kitchen counter. He scanned them, confusion first, then panic. His lips parted. "Dad!" I didn't let him finish. "You forged her hand," I said quietly. "You robbed your mother's grave before the earth even settled. And you threw me out of the home she left me to guard." He reached for excuses. I gave him silence. The next morning, I met the lawyer again. Only this time, the police sat beside him. My son arrived late, hair unkempt, eyes bloodshot. He thought it was another meeting about funds. He didn't notice the badges until it was too late. I slid the will across the table, the true one. Behind it, the forensic report, proof his forgery was crude, his scheme transparent. His face drained. They cuffed him there, in the same office where he had laughed at me. He begged, voice cracking this time, called me Dad like a child again. I didn't respond. As they let him out, he turned, eyes wild. "You set me up." No. He had set himself up the moment he believed greed outweighed blood. The house is mine again, silent, cavernous, smelling faintly of her perfume that lingers in the wood. I walk the halls not as a husband, not even as a father, but as the last witness to her intent. She trusted me to guard what she built, and I did. There are no photographs of him on the mantel anymore, no trace of the son who chose money over blood. I buried him in the same graveyard as her, only his stone reads, "Time served, not time lost." Justice doesn't always look like revenge. Sometimes it looks like silence, papers, signatures, and a door closing. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't lift my hand. I simply read the will, and it was enough.